8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, read by Soundit Avam. The visiting IMF delegation calls on the President. Sri Lanka urges China to change tune on debt. 7 arrested over the torching of the President's residence, remanded further. Aragale activist Senadi Guruge arrested. The Venerable Balangoda Kashyapa Thera under arrest. The CAA continues raids on vendors selling eggs at higher prices. 3-hour power cuts scheduled for August 25th. In news overseas, Prime Minister Kishida says Japan should consider building new nuclear plants. And in sports, England versus South Africa, Ollie Robinson replaces Matthew Potts. The visiting delegation of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has called on Sri Lanka's President Ranil Wickremesinghe this evening to discuss the current situation of the economic crisis the nation is grappling with at present. The meeting with the head of state came after the delegates of the global lender kicked off discussions with the governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, this morning to finalize a staff-level agreement for a possible $3 billion bailout package, including restructuring debt of about $29 billion. The IMF's resident representative for Sri Lanka, Tobago's Friendunitswan, and Finance Secretary Mahinda Sirivardhana also participated in the talks at the central bank premises. The IMF delegation will be in Colombo from August 24th to the 31st. Another round of discussions is scheduled to take place on August 26th. During the meeting with President Wickremesinghe, the IMF delegates decided to hold further discussions with the central bank officials on technical issues, the President's Media Division PMD said. The chief of the Debt Capital Markets Division of the IMF's Monetary and Capital Market Department, Mr. Peter Brewer, the Secretary to the President Saman Ekanaika, the President's Chief of Staff Sagala Ratnaika, and the Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe also joined the discussion. Sri Lanka is urging China to dramatically change its stance on debt relief. President Ranil Wickremesinghe told Nikkei Asia in an exclusive interview, conceding that reaching a deal will be no simple task. The appeal to China, the bankrupt Indian Ocean nation's largest bilateral lender, has emerged as a formidable challenge to Wickremesinghe, who is leading the country's financial team, as it attempts to rebuild an economy starved of foreign reserves and mired in misery. The effort is likely to feature prominently in a fresh round of discussions between Colombo and the International Monetary Fund representatives arriving Wednesday. Court, we have informed the Chinese government of the need to restructure the debt and the need for all the creditors to sing from the same hymn sheet, unquote, Wickremesinghe told Nikkei. But the 6-time Prime Minister, who won a parliamentary vote for the presidency and began his term on July 21st, sees a complex path to spurring a change of heart in Beijing, hinging partly on Sri Lanka's other lenders. Court, China, of course, has adopted a different approach, so it is a question of what is the agreement that the other creditor parties can reach with China, unquote, he said during a 40-minute conversation in his wooden-panelled office at the Presidential Secretariat, a colonial-era building that faces Colombo's seafront. Wickremesinghe was responding to a question about China's preferred route of refinancing its loans or differing the repayment dates for countries in debt to Chinese banks, rather than restructuring the loans and settling for a loss-making haircut. You're listening to the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Colombo's Fort Magistrate Tilina Gamage has ordered the 7 suspects who are in custody in connection with the torching of President Ranil Wickremesinghe's private residence to be further remanded until September 7th. The magistrate issued the order after considering the objections with regard to granting bail to the suspects presented by Additional Solicitor General Haripriya Sundara, who appeared on behalf of the prosecution. During a protest staged outside President Ranil Wickremesinghe's private residence on 9th July, a group of people had stormed the premises and later set fire to the establishment, which was replete with a rare collection of books and old Buddha statues, most of which Wickremesinghe had inherited. Meanwhile, Senadi Guruge, an activist of the Aragalaya movement, was arrested by the police today. He was taken into custody in connection with an assault on 2 intelligence officers. The activist is also known to be active in carrying out many similar attacks. The activist was instrumental in organizing many protests, ending in unrest and damage to the state properties. The Criminal Investigation Department, CID, arrested the Venerable Balangoda Kashapatera today. Kashapatera was placed under arrest when he arrived at the CID premises this morning to provide a statement with regard to his alleged forcible entry to temple trees. In the meantime, the Sri Lanka police said it is seeking the assistance of the general public to identify 24 people who possibly entered the temple trees and damaged its properties on July 9th. Information on these individuals can be submitted to the following contact numbers: 0112 421 867, that's 0112 421 867, 076 3477 342, that's 076 3477 342, and 1997 hotline. The Consumer Affairs Authority, CAA, has initiated raids in search of the vendors selling eggs beyond the maximum retail price. The officials said that the raids, which are carried out in several areas of the country yesterday, were continued today as well. 6 such places where eggs were sold at prices exceeding the maximum retail price have been identified in the Gampaha district, according to the officers of the Gampaha District Consumer Affairs Authority. The apprehensions are made in the areas of Udugampala and Nigambo. Further, it is reported that 10 shops that have been selling eggs at high prices were sued during the raids conducted in the Balangoda and Kahavatta areas. Among these was a shop attached to the Balangoda Cooperative Service. The Association of Egg Producers claimed that due to the high cost of production, they are unable to sell eggs at the price rates stipulated by the government. And with that, we conclude local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, PUCSL, has approved power cuts of 3 hours for tomorrow, August 25th as well. Accordingly, the power cuts will be imposed as follows. Groups A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V and W, 1 hour and 40 minutes during the daytime and 1 hour and 20 minutes at night. Group CC, 2 hours and 30 minutes from 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Groups M, N, O, X, Y, Z, 3 hours from 5:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Sri Lankan citizens and residents have been given a 1-month amnesty from August 15th to deposit or sell foreign currency in possession without questioning. Cabinet spokesperson, Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said. The minister said this while speaking at the press conference to announce the cabinet decisions held at the Government Information Department yesterday. Accordingly, persons in or resident in Sri Lanka who hold foreign currency notes in possession can deposit those currencies into a personal foreign currency account or into a business currency account or sell it to an authorized dealer. The minister said that the Central Bank of Sri Lanka had previously issued an announcement in this regard, and further information can be obtained from the website www.dfe.lk or contacting the Foreign Exchange Department on 0112 477 2555. That's 0112 477 2555 or 0112 398 511. Repeating that again, 0112 398 511. And that came to you in Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news making headlines tonight. Prime Minister Kishida says Japan should consider building new nuclear plants. Russian war dissident Roisman detained in Yekaterinburg. A Eurotunnel shuttle passengers stuck for hours inside Channel Tunnel. Japan should consider building new nuclear power plants, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said today. This could be a controversial policy shift after the nation suspended many of its nuclear plants in the wake of the 2011 Fukushima disaster. But Mr. Kishida said the Ukraine war and soaring energy costs highlighted the need for diversifying energy sources. He added that nuclear power may be needed to meet Japan's target of going carbon neutral by 2050. As Yevgeny Roisman was being led out of his flat by police this morning, a waiting journalist asked him why he was being charged. Court, just for one phrase, unquote, said Mr. Roisman, 59. The invasion of Ukraine. He has had a serious criminal case opened against him for discrediting the Russian armed forces. It is a common charge used against anti-war activists in Russia. Even using the words war or invasion here can lead to a visit from the police. Dozens of people were left stranded for hours inside the Channel Tunnel after a train from Calais to Folkestone appeared to have broken down. Footage emerged showing Eurotunnel shuttle passengers being evacuated through an emergency service tunnel after having to abandon their vehicles. They were eventually transferred to a replacement train and taken to the Folkestone terminal in Kent. A Eurotunnel spokesman said services were now back to normal. And back to the headlines of the world news. Prime Minister Kishida says Japan should consider building new nuclear plants. Russian war dissident Roisman detained in Yekaterinburg. An Eurotunnel shuttle passengers stuck for hours inside Channel Tunnel. That concludes this bulletin of world news, and on to development news. The government is planning to reduce the budget deficit to 6.8% of the gross domestic product GDP in 2023, Cabinet spokesman and mass media minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said. Speaking at this week's Cabinet media briefing held yesterday at the Government Information Department, he stated this. Minister Gunawardena said that the government is planning to cut the budget deficit to 6.8% of the gross domestic product in 2023 from an expected 9.9% in 2022. And that's development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
On to cricket news. England have recalled pace bowler Ollie Robinson to their 11 for the second test against South Africa at Old Trafford starting on Thursday. Robinson, who replaces Matthew Potts, has not played for England since the 5th Ashes test in January. Captain Ben Stokes said Robinson, 28, had been chosen to exploit the greater amount of bounce expected from the pitch in Manchester. England are 1-0 down in the series after losing by an innings at Lord's. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Mars Holdings, MS, has been selected as a finalist for the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion category at the 13th Reuters Events Responsible Business Awards 2022, the world's leading celebration of responsible business excellence. The Group Human Resources Director of Mars Holdings, Dinali Piris, stated, "Quote, we are thrilled to be shortlisted in the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion category for the work that we are doing to create a diverse and inclusive organization for our 118,000 employees across 17 countries," unquote. That's business news, economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news.
courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Central Bank Governor, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, has said that once the staff-level agreement with the IMF is reached, Sri Lanka will approach its external creditors and start discussions in good faith to obtain relief. Quote, for that, Sri Lanka needs financial assurance from external creditors.